quickly, so you were 15 playing for the under-20s. Because am I right thinking you made your Australian debut at 15 as well?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's a lot to shoulder at that age. That's ridiculous. What was that experience like to get that call up and to be, like you say, playing around real heavy hitters in the women's game, senior players?
It all happened quite fast, to be fair. Like we got back to Australia, and then I was playing in the league below professional league, which was called MPL 1. So I was playing in that, and then got called up to the under-20s. And after my first tournament with them, straight after that, got called up into the senior team. So it all happened really quick. And before moving back to Australia, I didn't even know you could play for your national team and stuff. So it was just like, it all happened really quick, but it was like very exciting because I traveled to different countries with the national team, and I was like, wow, like I didn't know you could do this kind of stuff. But I had like no idea what I was like getting myself into, and that was like, not that like I would have wanted to stop, but it just felt like it all happened so quick that you don't have a chance to be like, this is what I want to do. Like I just kept on taking that next step. And it's ended up being a really like fun journey. But I think at like such a young age, like you just making your debut so early, you're just like, okay, well now this is it. Like it's made the decision for me.
I think when you're such a young age, you embrace it a lot more as well because you don't think about it. I remember we played in the under-16 Youth World Cup for Scotland, and got to the final, and it was a big occasion, and people used to say to us, we're 15 years old. Did you feel the pressure? But did you feel that? And you didn't. You just wanted to play football. You had that freedom about you. It's when you get older that you start putting pressure on yourself. But I think when you're younger, you just embrace it and you want to go out and play football.
Yeah, I think the thing you always hear when you talk about young players is them playing without fear. I imagine it seems to be a huge advantage, and it's helped you so far. Yeah,
for sure. I was just always told like that I'm young, so I have the license to make mistakes. So I think like I had to prove, I didn't have any pressure to prove myself at that time. Like I was already ahead of my age group, and I was getting the opportunity because of my abilities, but I didn't have to be where everyone else was straight away. So I think that kind of just like took away any of the expectation and pressure to have to perform every time that I went on.
How were the senior players with you when you first went in?
I mean, the environment's changed a lot to this point. I think in the past, like, it's just so different. Like, women's football's come such a long way. And I think, like, at least for, like, our, like, national team, like, it's just, like, we've had, like, the same group of girls just being in that team for so long. So when you get new players, it's, like, sometimes it can be hard to get, like, into groups and to make friends and stuff. So it was challenging at times, like, being the youngest player there.
They feel threatened sometimes as well, don't they, the older ones?
Well, I think, like, it's just, like, it's not that they do that on purpose to leave you out, but it's just a maturity level that's so different that, like, the conversations that you'd have with someone your own age versus them with their mates, it's so different. So it's almost like they have a kid to look after. So I think, you know, now that I'm looking back on it, I can, like, I wouldn't be, like, mad at anyone for how things went. I think it was just tough on both sides to be like, do I have to look after you? Like, you're not my kid. But then for me being like, I feel like I'm not with anyone. But it's so nice now. Like, I think as I've gone on my own journey and I've been able to relate a lot more to them now, it's given me a lot more perspective on the past as well.
It's experience, isn't it, as well? They take the experience from it.
Yeah, and it seems that you're obviously still so young, but you've been playing at the top level for so long, and that seemed to hit a real peak this summer at the World Cup. I mean, how was it for you to be representing your home nation at a home World Cup with everyone behind you and the success that the team had as well?
Yeah, it was incredible. Like, I think before it, like, I wouldn't have imagined that the country would get so behind us. Like, it's obviously a tournament at home, but, like, the crowds that we were getting compared to what we would get when we just go for, like, a friendly or whatever, like, it was just, everything was just so much bigger. And it was just, like, even just us going on our, like, pre-match walks and stuff, like, you'd walk down the street and people just start clapping or singing and stuff, and it's like, it's just random people that you don't even know, and, like, some of them have, like, never been to football games before, and now because of the World Cup they're coming and they're watching and they're interested. So yeah, it was unbelievable.
And it wasn't just Australia either, obviously. We saw, right, thinking that your mum is from Papua New Guinea.
Yeah.
We saw some incredible support for you over there as well. I mean, how special did that feel for you as well? It's not just Australia, it's your whole heritage that's really celebrating you.
Yeah, no, it was amazing to see, because like I've only been to Papua New Guinea once when I was 7. And so for me to see like how much support and love they give me for someone that's like, I wasn't born there, like I haven't been there often. I have relatives there, but I don't get to see them a lot, but they still treat me like I'm one of their own. And it's like, they don't have to do that. But to see them like set up like the one TV in the village and try to get connection and everything, and just hearing about that and getting the pictures from my mum, like it was just, yeah, it was amazing to see, because I just wouldn't have thought that many people would get behind me and get behind the team like that. Like I think I never really realized, and I think for a lot of girls, you sometimes don't realize how many people are actually interested and want to see you do good. And in the same time, you know, how many people you're inspiring by what you're doing. So I think that was like a moment for me where I was like, I would just love to be able to give back, because there's so many more people out here trying to like support me and make sure I do well that I haven't even met, which I just thought was crazy.
Is that something you've been able to come to terms with, the fact of the reach, not just of the World Cup, but before that, and you individually and what you've achieved, the reach that you've had and the people you've inspired? Have you been able to kind of stop and think about that, or is it the kind of thing that would just swallow you if you did think about it?
I think I definitely have moments where it just like, I'm like, oh, like, am I actually, like, are people actually that interested? Because then I'm like here and I'm like, I love just leaving training, taking the tram. I feel so normal. Like I'm just like a 20-year-old girl. Like I'm not doing anything incredible. Like I'm playing a sport that I love. I'm good at it. I've been given the opportunity to get to where I'm at, but I wouldn't say I wouldn't put myself on this pedestal that I'm like doing way more amazing things than all the people that are supporting me. So I'm like, I think I find it hard sometimes to be like, put myself in their shoes, looking at me like I'm a role model, or, you know, like that. But then when I think about like me being younger and like people that I would look up to, then I can get it in that sense. And I'm like, there's just speaking about certain things, like I would, if my role model said certain things, and I would latch onto that. So it just makes you realize how many people are watching and the kind of like messages that you want to give out, and the kind of influence that I guess you want to have, because I have so many kids that follow me, and I'm like, I would just want to be a good influence in that sense. But it is hard at times to connect with that when I'm not in Australia, because most of my following is from Australia. So then when we go back for national team games, that's when I get to see all the fans and everything, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like we can be in a stadium with 60,000, and I'm like, I have like over 300,000 people that follow me, and I'm like, where are all these people coming from? Like, that I'll never like be able to put like picture that like in my head. If I had 300,000 people in front of me, I'm like, it's just wild. Like, but.
Crazy.